Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Thursday, August 21st, day 45. And here we are, eviction day. In theory, the wall head of household competition tonight. We shall see. And we had a show last night, and we have a still up in the air vote possibly for who's going to get evicted. So what has happened since I last talked to you? Nothing major development-wise. It is still kind of up in the air. Actually, I would say if anything's happened, it's been that it looks like Vince may not be on board with the vote out Rylie plan. He seems to be more locked into getting rid of. I don't understand it. I keep having a hard time believing it every time I see it, but he keeps talking like if it comes down to Morgan versus Rylie, that he will vote out Morgan. I'm just surprised. I guess in his world, Rylie is a more loyal ally than Morgan. The problem is that we, as the live feed viewers, have a different view on things than the people in the house, and I don't see Rylie. I don't know. I've got a bias built in because I'm not a fan of Rylie. Right? That's part of the problem. Part of the problem is I don't want to see Rylie around anymore, and so anybody that wants to work with him is kind of like, and then that's probably what it is, because Rylie may be more loyal to Vincent than Morgan. But I don't want to see Rylie around anymore, so it could be my own personal bias against Rylie that's causing me to have an issue with what Vincent's thoughts are. So, Vincent seems up in the air. He seems up in the air. It really does seem like, though, that Mickey is probably most likely to go if she doesn't win the battle back. And then if it comes down to Morgan versus Rylie, it's possible that Morgan may go. Matter of fact, in my brain right now, I could see it. I can see Morgan not being in the house for jury. Yep. So, I really think that that Morgan, hell, yeah. I think that in order to have any shot for Rylie to leave tomorrow or tonight, that Mickey needs to win the battle back comp. That's what I'm guessing. So we'll see what happens tonight, and then they'll do the wall competition. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It's kind of like, I'm gonna look at all my house guest lists here and run them down, because that's where I'm at. It's they had their halfway party last night. So the feeds were down for a couple hours. And nothing great came out of that I could tell. I just didn't see nothing major. No major developments happened yesterday. Nothing. I wouldn't even say nothing solidified. I kind of thought we might see this Judges Alliance kind of solidify, but I don't. I really see the Rachel's angle suddenly of the anti-showmance is not getting as much traction as one might think, or one might hope, or I don't know. Rachel wasn't on board with it until 2 days ago or whatever. So why would the rest of the house suddenly be looking at that as a viable thing? And we have to remember, there's people in that house that we really haven't been talking about that have votes, right? So Keanu has been so far under the radar in my talking. Kelly, the two of the biggest targets the first few weeks are now not even getting mentioned by me when I'm talking about this stuff. That's how far off the radar they've fallen. And both, by the way, are votes to keep Rylie. So I have personally fallen into I'm not in Rachel's camp to vote for, I don't want to see Rachel win, and I don't mean that in a negative way, other than I'm just like, I don't want an alumni to be rewarded for coming back in a season where they are the only alumni. I don't want, by the way, I don't want even just a 2 or 3. I don't want any alumni and newbies mixing together. It is just not fair to the newbies. Yeah, I just thought of something that I'm not going to talk. Nothing. I'll shut up now. It's nothing bad, but yeah, it's just a big advantage for the returning vets. So I don't know. But for this case, for this week, I'm perfectly fine with Rylie going and Rachel getting her way if that's what she wants her way to be. I just don't see it happening. So last night's show, let's talk about that for a second. So I watched last night's episode, and the most annoying thing of all, and I'm not going to dwell long on this, is the Rylie edit, the Rylie Catherine edit. He is getting a hero edit, not completely a hero edit, but he's getting an awesome edit as far as what they are showing on the TV show is not the things that we are noticing about Rylie. And I've already talked about it. Not doing it today, but the point is just to say that production did not do anything last night to make Rylie look any worse. They made him look, just like, oh, I just care about you so much, and I don't think they showed him saying, I'm going to marry you. And there's nothing you can do. I don't think he ever said there's nothing you can do about it. See, I want to put words in his mouth. I don't know what he said, but he said some stuff that it's just like, and part of it's being in the house, of course. But another part of it is like, no, not a fan. So, yeah, he did, yeah. Just the show was very nice. The production is very nice to him. They are not setting him up. They're not setting him up to be evicted. I don't know what their thoughts are. I don't know if they think, well, he's not going to get evicted on Thursday, so let's not make him too dark a character because people will start showing up at the studio with their pitchforks saying we have to get rid of him. And so far, that hasn't happened, although the reporting out there is starting to mention it. Both the TMZ and the Sun, the Sun is the UK paper, is reporting on the fans' unhappiness with Rylie still being in the house. And matter of fact, my last post that I haven't from last night was basically saying that the biggest gaslighter this season on Big Brother is production for what they're pulling over on the viewing public, on the casual fans, because they think that Rylie, they would think if they're only watching the show that Rylie is just, a simple country guy who, is just in love with a girl, and I don't know, just, yeah. All right, enough of that. I can tell you right now this is going to be a short one because we're waiting for the vote. I think that Vincent is going to do this anguished vote in the diary room tonight, and I think he's going to vote to either eliminate Morgan. I don't know. I don't think he'll vote out Rylie. I do not think he'll vote out Rylie. So that's going to be the weird thing. It's going to be very weird if it comes down to Rylie and Morgan and Vincent votes out Morgan. I would not have guessed that going into this week. I really wouldn't have. So, yeah, weird. It'll be weird, but somebody's got to go. Either Rylie, Mickey, or Morgan have to go, and I don't know which one it is, but it will be another big blow to the house because whichever one of those characters goes, that is a big character in the house. It's another week of losing a fairly big character, so it will change the house dynamics, definitely. And I have no idea how things will fall out until we get there. So do I want to touch on the current house guests? Let's do a quick glance at the house, at the house guests. And I don't know if you can hear the paper rustling as I unfold my paper of my cast cheat sheet from BB Live updaters that I printed out before Rachel was. No, Rachel's on this one, so she was in the cast, right? So we got 4 rows of HGs. Let's see. This is not matching up to the. It's alphabetical. So almost no. Well, Zay is no. It's not even alphabetical, or it's whatever. Doesn't matter. You can't see it, so you don't care. Adrian's out. Amy's out. Ashley has been. She's doing okay. I don't see her as being perceived as a threat. Although at this point, people have to get put on the block, right? So I could see her being put up on the block as, quote, a pawn if they continue on with the 3 nominee scenario. And why wouldn't they? There's plenty of people around to vote, so they may keep it up. But she's okay. She, of course, is a part of this Judges Alliance. Not that it's going to last past this week, especially if Vinny goes against them and ends up voting out one of their members, right? Yeah, so there you go. There's what's that would end that alliance. But Ashley's a member of that. She's in good with a lot of the house guests. Obviously on one side of the house that's with Rachel in theory for this week, as Rachel's head of household. Don't talk to me not next week. You never know. Ava has been another one they've been concentrating on for the vote. And she seems like she's willing to keep Rylie, keep Morgan over Rylie. But I also think that may be a game time decision. So it's possible that she votes out Morgan as well, along with Vinny. I think Will's going to vote out Rylie if he has the choice. He will probably vote out Mickey if it's Mickey versus Morgan. He's said many, many times this past week, Mickey, why don't you just keep your mouth shut? Like, Mickey has run her mouth too much and made it too difficult for him to keep around. Zay is no longer in the house. Jimmy is no longer in the house. Catherine, she's going to do. She's in the long haul for with Rylie, and so for better or for worse, she's going to do whatever involves Rylie until he's no longer in the house or she's no longer in the house, whichever it happens to be. Keanu, as I said, he's been under the radar. I have not been talking about him. He keeps going back with Rachel, but he also is in very tight with Rylie. And so he wants to keep Rylie. And I would think if Rylie is on the block come tonight, that he will be voting for whoever is up against him. Kelly, the same. Kelly is in tight with Rylie, probably be voting out whoever is up against Rylie when it comes down to it. Lauren, another one who may very well be keeping Rylie. That's what Vincent has been telling her. Like, he's been telling her this, that he wants to keep Rylie. So she's another vote for Rylie. Lauren has a habit of closing her eyes a lot when she's talking. Like, she needs to close her eyes to focus, it seems. I'm not judging her for that. It's definitely something that I've noticed now watching her on the feeds. When she's having a deep conversation, she closes her eyes. Like, I need to shut my eyes to kind of focus on what I want to say. Just a little tick of hers, if you want to call it a tick, I've noticed. Mickey. Yeah, Mickey doesn't seem to know how much danger she's in. She's got a big head, and I think that big head is I think Mickey's big head is blinding her to how much danger she's in. Morgan, like I said, Morgan is the other one that may go, and her closeness with Vince is not as close as we thought it was. Of course, Vince, Mickey, and Morgan were kind of in a 3-person alliance, and that's going to get broken up, obviously. And so they've kind of been pitted against one another. We don't need to talk about Rylie. I've already said enough. Vince, talked a lot about Vince. Zach is out of the house. And finally, Rachel. And Rachel, this is her head of household this week. She's not going to be head of household this time tomorrow. And we'll see how vulnerable she really is. I don't know. I do think that at some point there's going to be a hard push to get her out. I'm just not sure if it will be this week or during in the middle of a double or something. I'm just not sure when it's going to happen, but yeah, she won't be on the wall tonight. And we're still assuming it's the wall, but there's no reason to think it won't be. Don't know if the wall will be on the feeds. I would think it will, but they haven't teased it or anything, so it's not 100% certain. But that will be expected, couple hour thing, not a marathon. Marathons don't happen anymore. The last one that, marathon obviously was the pressure cooker, and they hype that a lot. It'll be a while before they do something like that again, even though I thought it was fairly successful. I think they want to hold back on doing that kind of stuff. So there you go. There's your wrap up. I would anticipate not talking to you until tomorrow with the results of the head of household competition. So be well. Have a good Thursday. If something major crops up, I'll jump on to tell you, but pretty much seems like it's going to be another day of, as we all say, the waffling will be going on, and we won't see as much of it because the feeds will be down as the house guests get prepared for tonight's episode. So we'll see what happens tonight. You all take care, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for your support, everybody. Be well. Take care. Bye-bye.
Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams one-coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3.